In this story, the main character, this little boy Diggory, his mom gets sick. And they don't really know what it is, but she gets very, very sick. And he makes some mistakes in searching for a cure. He steals some rings from his uncles, opens up a magical world, and then he kind of unleashes the White Witch, who is kind of the big evil in the universe. He does all this bad stuff, and at the end, he finally gets confronted by Aslan, the one who has power and authority, this big talking lion, who has this authority and royalness that feels like he is going to be confronted for everything that he's done. And it's funny, the book records that he has these ideas of maybe he'll lie to the lion to try to get the lion to give him what he wants. But in those moments when he's face to face with this big lion, he just can't find it in him. He just finds himself admitting his faults, admitting his guilt. And he's kind of left with this feeling, I've done so much wrong. I let the White Witch free. I stole these rings. I've done all these bad things. Why on earth would this lion listen to my request to help my mom? And yet, after the lion kind of tells him, yeah, I know you're wrong, and he kind of waits and sits in that for a while, Diggory digs up the courage, and he says this. He says, but please, won't you? Can't you give me something that will cure Mother? It says, up till then, he had been looking at the lion's great feet and the huge claws on them. Now, in his despair, he looked up at its face. And what he saw surprised him as much as anything in his whole life. For the tawny face was bent down near his own, and wonder of wonders, great shining tears stood in the lion's eyes. They were such big, bright tears compared with Diggory's own, that for a moment he felt as if the lion must really be sorrier about his mother than he was himself. And my son, said Aslan, I know grief is great. It's interesting, before giving him a mission or telling him what to do or what to change, Aslan meets Diggory with compassion, with a sorrow that not only matches his, but outmatches his. And those of you who are familiar with this series, or perhaps familiar with God, will know that this amazing compassion is what we find in Christ as well. His great sadness for the lost is matched only by his great joy for the found. And I'll say this, if you are in a situation where you are interacting with somebody who you think is lost, you may not have the right words, might not have the answers, you might not say the right things or even do the right things in trying to comfort this person. But when you reach out with compassion, driving your efforts, you will do so diligently, and you'll learn. And you'll be pushed in going deeper. See, with compassion, we make reaching further about the lost and not about ourselves.